Welcome back to the Reality Check podcast. This is episode 12, and today I'm here with Danny Valenzuela, a renowned engineer and financier. So, today we're going to be talking about EBITDA. Can you define what that is in the corporate world?
So, EBITDA is going to be a financial metric that's used to look at how much money a company is making on the books. So, EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So, this metric is going to be one of the key methods to look at how much money a company is making. So, let's dive into what exactly EBITDA is. So, the EB, earnings before, so this is going to be earnings before the tax, any tax on the company that includes corporate taxes, that includes anything to do with the lands, anything to do with the rents, anything that's owned. So those taxes are going to be taken out. You're not going to be looking at those. Uh, Depreciation is going to be any depreciating assets. For example, in a chemical company, any of the materials that they use are going to be depreciating over time. And typically, in a business, you'll be assessing those to look for possible future cost. But when you're wanting to see how much money a company is making, you don't factor that in. And then after that is going to be for tax earnings. Wait, and then after that's going to be, sorry, interest.
Okay.
And so when you're looking at interest, you want to take out anything that the company is holding. Again, it's on the other side of depreciation. It's assets that are going to be increasing in value. That can be lands. That land should not be factored in when you're looking at how much a company is making. And last, there's amortization. Amortization is going to be when you on your books. So whenever you're looking at a company's finances, you're looking year by year. And so whenever you buy something, you buy any asset that the company needs to produce their products. You're going to want to, if you have to buy for example, in a chemical company, if you have to buy a column and it costs $20,000, but that column's going to be good for 20 years, instead of screwing up the earnings on one book, you want to spread that cost over the however long that object is going to be, that item is going to be used for.
Okay.
And so this basically gets rid of all the nonsense in earnings and is a great way to look at companies and their finances.
All right, that's really interesting. And kind of building on that, so I guess it's kind of like, what's that? It's like GVD, like whenever a country's earnings, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Gross GDP,
yeah.
gross domestic product.
So it's pretty much that, but of a corporation in that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess a simple way to like define it. And then also, I know you're about to go into college, right?
Yeah.
So what are you majoring in? Because
Ooh, that's a golden question. So in my journey, I'm honestly in high school done really well in my math courses.
yeah,
And
800 SAT math. Oh, you gotta put it out there. 800 SAT math.
don't forget calculus 3.
Okay.
Anyways,
Then
so my end goal in my career is that I want to end up in some sort of high level finance space, but I've also want to stay home.
Okay.
And so my end goal being I wanted to go into the energy sector in either consulting or finance.
Okay.
So there's multiple ways to get there. And for me, I'm looking at applying to basically only top 10 finance schools to maybe study finance and go straight into investment banking,
Okay.
or going into engineering school, becoming an engineer for a couple of years, then going to get my big time MBA, and eventually moving into the high finance sector.
I agree with that. Honestly, that's what I want to do too. Engineering, the MBA. I feel like a solid path. Right?
Oh, it's a very sustainable path. Yeah, it's very consistent. The pay after college for engineering is through the roof.
Yeah. 6 figures automatically.
Automatically, yeah. But what I've looked at is whenever I'm assessing the finance going into, and either I've applied to NYU, Penn, Harvard, is that those level of finance colleges will give you, like, open up doors that you didn't even think could be there before.
Like even more the connections, just the name of the school, right?
Absolutely,
That's what
yeah.
gets you places.
The prestige, I mean, it just holds a name for employers. So, I
Yeah.
mean, for what I've already looked at through advice through my mentors, is that any of you super high level math kids who think that you're social, believe that you can be a leader one day, look at multiple paths. Don't stick to just finance or engineering.
Okay, and then also investment banking. How do you feel about those hours? Because those hours are bad when you start, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I have an uncle he's now in private equity, but he did start out in investment banking, and he told me that it's a lot about just getting it done. I mean, putting in your time for the 3 4 years that you're a low level associate. That I'm preparing to have my habits be that I can be able to sustain for a couple years I mean, up to 100-hour work weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
That's a lot of hours.
I mean, that is in a distant future in about 4 or 5 years. So right now, it's just
Coming
getting
up
my
though.
right now, it's just getting my foot in the door.
Okay. And then one question we always ask on this podcast, what is one advice you would give to incoming freshmen?
Ooh, incoming freshmen. My one advice I would give would be to place yourself to where you want to be going to college in 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And from there, whatever your goal is, or even if you don't have a goal, work backwards. Set up your 4 year plan. Like armor yourself that your resume by the time you're a junior or senior
Yeah.
is going to get you into those colleges you want to get into.
Okay.
Whether I mean here in Houston, if it's you're a diehard Aggie, set up your classes to make sure that you're going to be in the top 10%.
Okay.
If you're a diehard Longhorn, I mean, know that's going to be a little bit tougher to get into your major. Yeah, so I would look at where do you want to be going to college, and where do you want to be set yourself up in 3 5 years.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Krish.
Yes.
Pleasure.
See y'all next time.